Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Yesterday at Arlington, we buried a very good friend. Many of you may have known him personally, may have met him on occasion, may have thought, what is this burly, rough individual who knew how to make people turn pink from the phraseology that he would use that would even make Russian sailors blush? What was he doing in defending questions of Ukraine? And why did people listen to him in the first place? Well, you have to know the man, and during the past couple of days, as we were in the process of mourning his passing and reading the various eulogies about him, we sort of developed a mosaic about who Roman Kupchinsky was. Everyone probably knows about his most recent writings about corruption in Ukraine, about the bad mistakes made in 2006 as to natural gas in Ukraine, which he wrote prolifically about and exposed all of the criminal activities that occurred around that and earlier in other times. But very few of you may have known that he served in the United States Army in Vietnam, did 2 tours. And the reason why he's buried in Arlington is because he was the recipient of a Purple Heart. That, among 4 or 5 other honors that he received for his bravery and valor. Some of you may also know that since his tour of duty in Vietnam, he was always working on the question of Ukraine. Many of you may remember little committees called Committee for the Defense of Soviet Political Prisoners. Maybe some of you may have heard about his activities in defense of Helsinki monitors. You may have heard about a magazine called Prologue. But what you don't know is that not only was there writings that he did, but there were activities that were inside Ukraine, support for Ukrainian dissidents, for the Shestodesiatniki. These were not idle words, they were actions taken by him and others. Throughout his life, he had always the goal of supporting the underdog. And the underdog that was most important to him was Ukraine. It was the pole star of his activities. He brought the question of Ukraine not only to the people of the United States, but he worked inside of Europe. The question of Ukrainian dissidents and Ukrainian independence he brought to Japan, the Pacific Rim, and to Beijing itself. He also examined the question of what American position should be vis-a-vis Ukraine. Unfortunately, some here in Washington listened and others ignored. But his greatest achievement, ladies and gentlemen, was not only being a patriot, but most importantly, a good father. You may have not known the fact that for the past 15 years, he raised his only son as a single parent, his wife passing away in 1995. And he raised a very beautiful son. And I'm very happy to be the godfather to that boy. So when we look back, we could read in The Economist, there was a very interesting obituary about Roman. And he said, here's this hard-drinking, chain-smoking, burly animal of a guy who was the scourge of communists and post-communist kleptocrats. And then the article ended with the question, what do we do without him? Well, I think what Roman would have told you is, one man doesn't make history. One man does not change the course of a nation. It is the actions that others may emulate and do together towards a common goal. And that common goal, what was for Roman, should also be for us. Human rights and the independence of Ukraine. Thank you very much.